With the recent influx of new players to the game, thanks to fucking everybody playing it apparently, I've been getting some comments on my video about Menphina's earrings, calling them pay to win. So today I'll do my best to answer the question that everyone that's trying a new game out cares about. Is Final Fantasy XIV a pay to win fuckfest? And the answer is, it can be. Kind of. Let me explain. Whether FF14 is pay to win depends entirely on what your endgame is and what content you enjoy in the game. Let's look at the topic based on the kind of player you might be. Pay to win is a scale, and to me a game is pay to win if someone can simply spend more money than I did and gain an advantage that I can't compete with. It's an interesting concept in MMOs, but let's look at FF14 in particular. The first thing that comes to mind are boosts and skips. The game has three kinds of real money shortcuts you can degrade yourself to buying. Number one are main story quest skips, which you can buy a total of 3 of, one for ARR, one for Heavensward, and one for Stormblood respectively, but buying the Stormblood one will also skip the previous 2 games. Number 2 are job level boosts for $25 to boost any job that you have to level 70, but you need to buy 1 boost per job. And number 3 are retainer boosts. For $9 you can level a retainer to level 70. So first of all, as far as boosts go, holy shit, these are fucking expensive. Imagine paying $60 plus your monthly sub to play the game, then another $25 to skip 3/4 of the current MSQ, and then another $25 to get a job to level 70. If that sounds reasonable to you as a player getting into the game, I'd recommend you get your ass back to playing some fucking gacha games. And speaking of money, apparently my monotone voice and content is so boring that only 3% of you are subscribed to me. At this rate, I will never be able to fulfill my dream of hiring an editor, so I can actually have my time back to play the goddamn game. Please subscribe. Oh, and for those 3,000 that are subscribed, thank you. You are all perfect legends to me. While I do hate these types of boosts on principle, and I think that anyone that ends up buying these should just watch my leveling guides instead, I do like that you can only skip up until the end of the previous expansion. Even if you are lazy and whaley enough to spend that kind of money, you have to still get through the Shadowbringer's main story quest and level from 70 to 80 on your own. No amount of whaling is gonna change that. So, no, you can't just yoink mom's credit card and jump straight into the endgame. You can't buy any gear or any weapons that give you a stat advantage. You can't buy anything that would make you better at any aspect of the game than someone that just bought the game and pays their monthly sub. The exception here is if you are a hardcore crafter and realize that having 2 retainers isn't enough for you to store the bazillion crafting materials in the game, that you are probably just hoarding in case that one sprout friend you have needs a level 30 item in the future sometime, then okay, you might need to spend on having more retainers, and it might make sense for you to boost them. The retainer boosts are dumb in my opinion, but if your endgame is making money, you might find those attractive. I don't really have an opinion as to whether these are pay to win or not, since you get a total of 560 inventory slots plus your armory chest, but for some players that might be pay to win. Moving on, let's talk about Menphina's earrings. Menphina's earrings are an accessory item that you get as a reward for pre-ordering Endwalker. They provide you with an additional 30% experience gained from killing mobs up until level 80, and their stats sync with your level. In the same way the Bosgen earrings sync with your level. Menphina's earrings are basically the same as the Bosgen earrings. Instead of +3 haste, you get an additional 20% experience. It's not the first time Square Enix has had pre-order bonus items like these. A few years ago, you got the Aetheryte earrings for pre-ordering Shadowbringers, which did the exact same thing, but capped at level 70. Same thing happened with ordering Stormblood, which gave you the Alamegan earrings. I also don't really consider these pay to win. While the 30% is huge for nerds like me that want all their jobs to be max level, leveling a job in Final Fantasy XIV doesn't take that long compared to other games. What I do actively dislike is that these are only available for pre-ordering and won't be obtainable in any other way, so anyone that buys Endwalker after release in November won't get these. Menphina's earrings cap at level 80, so the process of leveling from 80 to 90 won't be any faster. So yeah, this one is subjective. On one hand, anyone that's going to end up buying Endwalker anyway will end up spending the exact same money as someone that is pre-ordering. It's just a matter of the point in time you spent the money in. I'd consider this one not really a pay-to-win thing, but I can see how this will piss some people off. The other reward you get for pre-ordering, aside from the minion, is early access to the game. As was revealed during FanFest, Endwalker goes live on November 23, and as someone who pre-ordered, you'll be able to play the game November 19. Whether that date is final or not is not yet confirmed, but a few days of early access are definitely promised to pre-order players. Again, not a matter of I paid more than the plebs who did not pre-order, but it is a matter of I pre-ordered and someone else didn't. Early access will give you an advantage over other players to an extent. For the endgame raiders, the hardcore and midcore players, they should be able to reach level 90 within those 4 days of early access, and they will probably get started on farming extreme trials for gear. For hardcore crafters, this could be a different story though, because the first people to reach level 90 and get endgame crafting gear are able to create, a first to market mover advantage and make a shitload of money on the market board. That one I can guarantee you. So 4 days of extra time to level your crafters, to get gear, and to get melded, and to learn the new recipes, and to find the new spots for gathering, that's going to be huge. But in terms of competitive advantage, that's all I can really think of. In the last live letter, Square Enix mentioned that the normal version of the first Pandemonium raid tier is going to release 2 weeks after Endwalker launches, and that the Savage tier is going to come out 2 weeks after that, meaning we are going to be raiding for Christmas, boys. So for a majority of the casual player base, none of these incentives are big pay-to-win items. For raiders, the 4 days of pre-order, and for hardcore crafters, the 4 days of pre-order might be considered a paid-for advantage. For PvP players, those don't exist. What PvP players? Anyway, let's look at the type of player where FFXIV, however, is really fucking pay-to-win. Hell yeah. Red Mage level 80. Time to get glamming. Let's check what the geniuses over at the Eurozero collection are wearing. Ooh, this one's nice. What is she wearing? Eastern Socialite boots? $18 on the Mogstation? Fuck! If you are an endgame glamour or an ultimate housing expert, Final Fantasy XIV is 100% pay to fucking win. Some of the best and most versatile glam pieces are only available on the Mogstation. And yes, I know, a lot of these were available in-game during specific seasonal events years ago, but I, along with millions of other players, didn't play those years ago. So we never had the chance to get those items, so now we have to pay. Don't get me wrong, a tremendous amount of really good looking gear is available in-game regularly, especially combat-based glam. But if you're looking for a more casual look or a specific outfit, you'll often find yourself wanting Mogstation items. And I get it. It's all cosmetic. And things like Ishtola's outfit or cosplay-like costume sets, yeah, I don't really care if those are paywalled or not. But there are plenty of really, really good looking pieces that are Mogstation only, and there just aren't any similar models available from anywhere else in the game. And the same goes for housing. Housing isn't as dramatic as glamming in my opinion, since a lot of the items in the Mogstation are just themed after a holiday or a specific season, or they can be a rather nice wall decoration. But when you enter someone's house and you see the game promotion posters on the wall, you know they're a whale. Of course, there's also a specific mount case we have to talk about, the SDS Fenrir. For some reason, this mount has a special affinity where this mount can travel at the first enhanced level of mount speed in areas where increased mount speed is available. Now, with flying being available everywhere in the game and every mount being capable of flying, and riding maps being basically obsolete, this isn't a big deal, except in places where you can't fly and land mount speed is still determined by whether you have a riding map or not. The obvious place where this is the case right now is the Bosnian Southern Front and Zadnor, where you'll be able to ride the SDS Fenrir as if you had the riding map all along. It's a little pay to win, I guess, since movement speed inside those areas is actually really powerful, but I don't think it's a huge deal. But it's the only mount, I believe, that has this particular trait, even among the ones you have to pay money for, and it doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me. It's a mount that costs more than the other average mounts, but it's also a little bit faster in some areas. So, to conclude, is Final Fantasy XIV pay to win? It depends on what your endgame is and what you consider as an individual to be a competitive advantage. The game has very little competitive systems in place in the first place, including for endgame rating. Almost all competition that exists is purely driven by the community, except for the mess that PvP is. For the average casual player, no, that's not pay to win. For raiders, it's a little pay to win if for some reason you can't pre-order the next expansion, but beyond that there's nothing else you can buy to get an advantage. For crafters, it's pay to win if you need to put more than 40 items on the market board and can't survive off of almost 600 inventory slots. For glamours and housing experts, yeah, it's kinda pay to win if you care about specific looks and want to really pimp your character out beyond combat gear glam. Also, if you're into mount collecting, some of the really cool mounts are simply, well, paywalled, and you gotta buy them. You gotta be one of those people that bought a store mount. Someone like me. Yeah, I've definitely spent some money on the Mogstation. There are some mounts I couldn't resist, and here we are. But that is all I have for you guys today. Welcome to my foray into some opinion-based content. Sorry this video is late. I've been sick for the last couple of days, but here we are. I'll see you guys soon. As always, you can catch me streaming live on twitch.tv/alzahard if you want to drop by. My Discord server has a small but cute community. Feel free to drop by and come chat with us outside the game if you'd like. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.